Hi, Santiago.
Hello,
How you doing today?
I'm okay.
Can you tell me how your week has been so far?
Well, I just got out the hospital day before yesterday.
Okay, and what happened for you to go to the hospital?
Um, I was hearing voices. The voices were taking over, and I went outside and I was walking up and down the street because my head was hurting. The voices, they make my head hurt. My head was hurting, so I was walking up and down the street and got admitted to the hospital.
Okay, well, we can talk a little bit more about that. First, I want us to do a deep breathing technique. We're going to play a little app here on my phone, and it'll guide us straight through the technique. So if you'll go along with me, we can get relaxed before we get into the week's problems.
Hi, my name's Andy, and over the next 10 days, I'm going to show you a really simple way of getting some more headspace in your life. Now, if you haven't watched the introduction animation yet, you're probably going to want to do that now before we begin. And don't worry if you've never done anything like this before. It's a really straightforward technique, and I'll talk you through every step of the way. All you need to do is to sit back, relax, and allow your body and mind to unwind. So just take a moment to get comfortable. Doesn't matter whether you're sitting on a chair or on the floor, whatever suits you best. But I'd like you to begin with your eyes open. Not really staring at any one particular point, just a nice soft focus, just aware of the space around you in the room. And as you sit there, I'd just like you to take a couple of nice big deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you breathe in through the nose, just focusing on the chest expanding, the lungs filling with air. And as you breathe out, just noticing how the body softens each time it exhales. Now, as you do just these first few breaths, I'd like you to do it loud enough so that if someone was sat next to you, they'd actually hear you breathing. Just for these first couple of breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And with the next out breath, just gently closing the eyelids and just feeling the weight of the body as it presses down against the chair or the floor below you.
Okay. Do you feel a little bit better now? A little more relaxed?
I do.
Okay. So you told me that recently you were hospitalized because you were hearing the voices. Could you tell me what the voices were telling you in that moment?
Um, they were just telling me that someone was out to get me. I kept hearing noises and kept hearing sirens and stuff, and so I was thinking that maybe the police was coming to get me. That someone was accusing me of doing things, or someone was coming to get me. So,
And when they told you that, how did you feel?
my head was hurting. My head hurt when the voices take over my body. My head hurt.
And what did you do when your head started hurting?
Um, I really didn't know what to do. I just walked up and down the street. I didn't know what to do.
Okay. And that's whenever you started, when the neighbors said that they heard you, whenever you were walking up and down the street.
Yeah, they said something like that. They said that. That's what I was doing.
Well, what it seems to be is that whenever you're hearing the voices, they're making you feel a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
They're making your head hurt. And because you're so stressed out, you don't know what else to do. And so in this instance, you went outside and you started yelling about your head hurting. And that's a typical thing for when someone is experiencing a very high level of stress. Sometimes they hear things or they see things that aren't there sometimes, and it's very stressful, and they don't know what to do, and so their actions show. It manifests in what they do. And so it seems that this is just a really really stressful thing for you to be hearing these voices. So can you tell me about a time when you were doing something that you really enjoyed doing?
I go out on a patio and I drink my coffee, and the birds come over and I feed the birds.
And what are the voices doing at that time? Are they telling you anything?
I don't hear any voices when I feed the birds.
You don't hear any voices at all?
I feed the birds, I don't hear any voices.
Well, it seems to be that whenever you do something that you really enjoy, you don't have the time to hear the voices. And so what I want you to do with me, I have these cards here. I want you to write down a few things that you enjoy doing. And I want you to keep these cards with you. Can you write down a few things for me? I know you said you like sitting out on the patio and feeding the birds. Okay, so you have here feeding the birds and watching TV, talking to your mother. What I've realized is that whenever you're doing things that you enjoy, it's a way for you to control whether you hear those voices or not. At least that's what it seems to be, since you don't hear them. And I know another thing that's really good is you taking your medication on time. So how often do you take your medication?
Before I went to the hospital, I really didn't take my medicine like I needed to. Since I left the hospital the other day, I've been taking my medicine. I'm going to try to keep taking it.
Okay. Well, I have over here, I have a calendar for you. I want you to mark each day that you take your medicine so that you can have a documentation that you've actually taken it that day, kind of help, be some accountability for you. And I want you to bring that back to me next week. And I also have here, I want you to take this whole thing with you.
Mm-hmm.
This is your thought diary. And I have right here a column that says it's labeled for what the voices are telling you, what you're feeling, and then what you do in that moment. So this week I want you to go through and tell me, some moments whenever you experience those voices. And I want you to bring this back to me so we can look further into this next week.
Okay.
And make sure you take these cards with you and try to practice some of these things to help you control the voices.